I get teased for a lot of things. I get teased for having a hard time parting with colored paper clips when I have to use one, because I want to keep the colored paper clips and look at them from time to time and be happy that they exist. I get teased because I don't just cry at Hallmark commercials. I cry when I see homeless people on the street, or when I hear a ballad by Nico Case or the Avett Brothers or Elvis Costello. Sometimes people say to me, "You're so sensitive. I can't tell you anything because you take it personally, or you'll start to cry because you're so sensitive." You can't ignore bad or sad things if you're around me. I'm gonna mirror outrage and tragedy and emotion. It has an effect on me when there is a bombing somewhere in the world, or when there is injustice done to a child. It moves me to tears when I see homeless people sleeping in tents under the freeway. And my tears won't let you forget that this problem is real. You're welcome. For a long time, I thought it was bad to be so sensitive because it made other people uncomfortable. And if I'm being totally honest, it sometimes makes me uncomfortable to feel so many big feelings all the time. I thought for a long time that I needed to change who I was. But after a healthy amount of therapy and surrounding myself with people who understand me well, I've come to realize that being sensitive and sentimental is not something to be ashamed of. It's actually a source of great strength for me. It's kind of like my superpower. My sentimentality gives special supercharged meaning to my life. It allows me to feel all of the things that one can feel. It keeps me vulnerable enough to let in hurt feelings like loss and grief and longing and sadness in a meaningful way. And it allows me to feel joy and love and acceptance deeply and completely. And there is no quirk about me that is too small to be touched by this revelatory shift. Even my collection of colored paper clips serves a purpose. My paper clips make me happy because they're delicate and pretty, and they make a tiny little paperclip rainbow inside of the little paperclip house they live in. It's pretty. The fact that I mirror outrage and tragedy and emotion can be a source of great connection between me and the world I live in. And I understand that my feelings sometimes make people uncomfortable, namely the kind of people who would rather pretend like those feelings don't exist. It's those people who tease me or make me feel bad for being sentimental or emotional because they don't like me having feelings that they don't want to handle. They're trying to deflect their feelings by picking on mine. Not okay. People who feel uncomfortable when I get emotional kind of need to learn to handle their feelings and leave mine alone. So if you're anything like me, if you've ever been teased for being too emotional, remember this. The source of people's teasing or judgment about your emotionality or sensitivity is not due to your inadequacies. You're not bad for being you. In fact, you're good for being you. So the next time someone says, "You're so sensitive," you can reframe it and you can say, "Mayim, you're so sensitive." Well, actually don't use Mayim because, unless that's your name. If your name is Mayim, you can say like, "Mayim, you're so sensitive," but otherwise just be like, "You're so sensitive." You are very in touch with your feelings and you feel deeply for other people. Your sensitivity has made you an incredibly empathetic person, and you care about people and animals and all of humanity because of it. Finding the nuances and assets in what other people might perceive as my defects has been a super important part of my development as I try more and more every day to be a person who's comfortable being in her own quirky skin. There's always room for me to learn to be more resilient so that my emotions don't get the better of me. But hating myself or feeling wrong for being sentimental or emotional is something I've been trained to do by people who don't want to acknowledge the difficult emotions that are part of our beautiful life. Some people have criticized or teased me because they didn't know how to love or support me. In many cases, they didn't even know how to love themselves. So they tried to make themselves feel more comfortable by making me feel less comfortable. Don't give anyone that power. And love yourself with the exact tools that they tried to use to bring you down. Their insults are compliments waiting to be discovered by wonderful you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.